Please stand clear of the doors. Please, por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express monorail. We're now embarking on a scenic journey over the highway in the sky, non-stop, directly to the Magic Kingdom, directly to the Magic Kingdom, non-stop, Kingdom. We're now on the final leg of our journey over the highway in the sky. Just ahead, you can see the beautiful Cinderella Castle, Adventureland, Frontierland, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, and Main Street, USA. Please lower your head and watch your step. Watch your step. Lower your head. Watch your step. Magic Kingdom. To the Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom.
May Walt Disney World bring joy and inspiration and new knowledge to all who come to this happy place. A magic kingdom where the young at heart of all ages can laugh and play and learn together.
Watch your step.
Your attention, please. The Walt Disney World Railroad now boarding for a scenic trip around the Magic Kingdom.
Main Street, USA.
People. Hey, Michael, mi amigo. Pay attention, it's Joe time.
Good evening, my friend. Man, I feel bad starting the show because I just love that anniversary mix by the late, great friend of the show, member of the WDW Radio family, DJ Technoid, Ricky Reed. I know you are with us wherever you are, brother, and I love being able to share your stuff. If you go to www.com/DJ Technoid, it'll take you to his SoundCloud. He's got some amazing Disney and other mixes as well. Anyway, that's DJ Technoid Ricky Reed. I am Lou Mongello. You are my friend. Welcome to the show. If you're watching live, thank you so much for being here. Sit back, relax, tag and invite a friend to watch. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. The best laid plans of mice, men, and me sometimes go awry. I had every intention of taking you with me into the parks tonight. Wasn't sure where, wasn't sure what we were going to do, but the thunderstorms rolled in, so here we are. But there's opportunity from adversity, And the opportunity is not just for you to stare at my giant head on your screen all night, but I have raided the prize closet, which has been overflowing with prizes. And I thought tonight we would do a relatively short show because it's Wednesday night and you've got to get over and check out tonight's What If on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen it yet, like this guy, rumor has it it's the best of the bunch so far. Dare I say, no spoilers, but spoilers, it involves zombies, so it's got to be good. So we'll do a short show, and tonight is really all about you. And when I say it's about asking me anything, you can literally ask. I might not have an answer for you, but I will give it my best shot. You can ask me anything about the show, about Disney, about the 50th that's coming up, podcasting, my weird love of White Castle, whatever it might be. And for the best questions, please keep them G-rated. I don't need to say that to you, but I'm going to say it to you. Please keep them G-rated and family-friendly. I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got toys. I've got books. I've got pins. I've got jewelry. I kid you not. I just sort of went crazy. So you may or may not know Funko. Maybe there's something from Avengers Campus in here, from Disney Plus, from the Disney parks. So I have no idea where this is going. This really is all up to you. So if you have a question, I will do my best to answer it in the comments. And I don't know what best questions means. I'm going to figure it out as we go along, whether they be intriguing, interesting, ones I've never heard before. Please don't try and stump me because I'm incredibly hungry and very sleepy, and I would probably get it wrong, and I will run out of prizes very, very quickly. But let's just have some fun. Ask me anything, and we will go from there. In the meantime, while you are thinking of your questions, please don't forget to check out this week's podcast with my new friend, a former Walt Disney Imagineer, Theron Skis. Talk about a fantastic, circuitous, and wonderful career at Walt Disney Imagineering, Disney Cruise Line, Disney Springs. I could have talked to Theron for hours. I have a feeling this is going to be the first of multiple conversations. Really, really enjoyed my conversation with him. Check it out at show number 648 in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. And if you can, take just a second, rate and review the show over on Apple Podcasts. It is super, super helpful. All right. Excuse me. Let me go back and see some of the questions that I've missed so far. Yes, Lori, I've got goodies. I have a question. I don't know when it should be asked. Feel free to knock yourself out. Chris, enjoyed this week's podcast. Thank you very much. Am I going to the Space 220 event on the 20th? Yes, I will be there, and I will share everything I can with you. Stay tuned. What is my favorite place on site for brunch? I can't say Boathouse. Marla, that's like saying, what's your favorite child without saying your favorite? Wow, my favorite place for brunch, other than Boathouse, is Homecoming. I really, really like Homecoming a lot. How about an updated Cabanas review? So, Richard, I would love to have done it on this past. So we're going to talk about my experience on Disney Cruise Line with Becky, probably on this week's show when she's done sunning herself in Aulani, which she very much deserves. We couldn't do a review of Cabanas because it's a very, very limited menu. Things are obviously different. We'll talk more about that on the show as well. What are the easiest and hardest parts of moving from New Jersey to Florida? Megan, that's a question that I could probably spend the entire time tonight talking about. The most difficult part, is taking the leap of faith. Sometimes in the face of people who are telling you it's a bad idea, you're stupid, you're crazy. I got all of it. The best part has been the friendships that I've made, the relationships that I've made. There is something special about this place, and I know that sounds like wacky and metaphysical, but it's true. The magic that is in that Disney bubble very much bleeds out to the surroundings areas, and it's because I think of the cast members and the people that move here. People are nicer, they're friendlier, the pace is slower, the food is delicious. I promise you, I'm actually going to do, and I've been pushing this back, really because of COVID a lot, but I'm going to do an updated live show about moving to Disney. I'm going to bring back as many people as still are talking to me from that roundtable, and we're going to do a special Wednesday night show so you can bring your questions then. My question is, how are you, and how do you have a hint for what's next from you? Pamela, I'm awesome because it's Wednesday night. Thank you for asking. A hint of what's next? No. I can tell you right now that what's next on the agenda for me, really, all my focus is on momentum. I've actually extended the early bird sale. There are 10 spots left. If you go to LouMongello.com/momentum, you can find out more. If you want to turn what you love into what you do, if you're just starting your business, your blog, brick and mortar, online, whatever it might be, I'm going to have some more details about some of the other speakers, some of the topics we're going to talk about, including how you can incorporate lessons learned from the Disney parks into your business, and I think into your life too. And we always have a lot of fun, so I'm super excited right now for momentum. Lot of spinning plates in the air right now. Let's see. Let me scroll on. Can you see the grease tape, Amber Bramble? No. And you're not going to win a prize for that one as well. Have I ever gotten a haircut on Main Street? I did, both as a kid, with my kids, a number of years ago when my son was very, very young. He got a haircut. I got a haircut there. What's the experience like? It's a haircut, but there's something, I don't know. If you get it, you get it. There's something about sort of saying, excuse me, that you had your haircut on Main Street. If you want the pixie dust, they'll do it for you. Even if you are an adult. Let's see. What a career the man had. Absolutely. When will I go live from Halloween Horror Nights? Probably a week from never. Probably a week from. I've been there before, and it's interesting and it's fun. I think some of the best stuff that Universal does, but probably not something I would ever go live from. Certainly not here. Would I rather learn how to draw like a Disney animator or be able to cook like a Disney chef? Jeff C., I'm tempted to give you a prize for that one because I really dig that question. I've never been asked that before because I could neither draw nor can I cook. And although Gusteau says anyone can cook, there's an asterisk at the end of that, and it says except Lou Mongello. I always have regretted, and I still to this day do, not learning how to cook, not taking lessons, not learning from my mother or my grandmother when I had the opportunity to. That's a great question. Jeff C., you know what? I'm going to give you a prize. Jeff C., I'm not even going to tell you which one it's going to be. I'm going to give you, because I have a collection of not one, not two, not three, not four. I've got 5 Funko Pops here. I'm going to give Jeff C. one of the Funkos. And I've got everything from The Mandalorian to Kylo Ren. I've got Ant-Man. I've got Black Widow. I have a few other ones in there too. I'm going to pick one, I think, Jeff, that is specifically for you. Excuse me. That's a great question. Wow. I'm a little verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. Where can I buy you breakfast? Anywhere. Really, anywhere except Halloween Horror Nights. What is my most prized Disney possession? Mary Ellen, it's a great question. I'm going to give you the lame answer. My most prized Disney possession exists up here. It's not one that I can touch. It's not one that I can hang on the wall. It's the memories that I have of going. Wow, you guys are really trying to get me to cry tonight. It's the memories I have of going with my parents. Excuse me. I just did an interview a couple of days ago, actually here, and really was sort of reminiscing. We were talking about the 50th and was thinking back on specific memories I have of going with my parents. I miss those times. I miss both my parents, and those formative Disney years for me are the reason why that I'm here. So, let's see. Did you see where you are today back when you started that day you left Jersey many years ago? You built the crazy community. Chris, it's a great question. You built the great community. I just built the clubhouse. You know, I could build the building, but you populated it. Never, ever, ever. The idea was, can I write a book? Can I get it published? Thinking that this would be my career. It would be something that I love doing every single day. thinking that I would have friends like you, all of you, that I never had before because I grew up not having a lot of friends. Never would I ever, like never could I ever have imagined that. And I think there's a takeaway lesson from that sometimes the dreams you never really wish you had can come true. And I know that sounds like a line from a Disney song, but it doesn't matter, excuse me, how early, sorry, how late you start, but anything is possible. Anything can happen if you let, boy, what's wrong with me tonight? Excuse me. Whew. Sorry. Becca the Cruise was awesome. I will do a complete review with Becky. It was so good to be back on Disney Cruise Line once again. What is the original ride that was first created for Magic Kingdom? Oh, Jessica! Wow, Jessica, I haven't seen you in ages. So are you asking me an attraction that was first created for Walt Disney World, and then was ported over to Disneyland, something like the Country Bear Jamboree? Or are you asking what is like the oldest attraction in Magic Kingdom, which is Cinderella's, well, it's now Prince Charming Regal Carousel, which was originally built back in like 1917, if my numbers are correct. What is the original ride that was first created for Magic? I think that's your question. If I'm wrong, let me know. God, what's wrong with me? Whew. Let's see. Do I think Rey brought a new generation to a Star Wars franchise? I think she did. I think I think individual characters as well as the individual stories. Look, I think, and I will go out on a limb. I never thought about this. I think Ashley Eckstein, single-handedly with her team, brought Star Wars to another generation of Disney fans that might not have loved it otherwise. Not just because she's a strong female character, but the entire Clone Wars series, and then everything that she's been able to do and build for her Universe brand as an extension of that. I like Ashley a lot, personally and professionally. She's a good person, former cast member, always been nice to me since the first time I interviewed her, probably 12 years ago at Star Wars weekends, and she was a keynote speaker at Momentum a couple of years ago, and I very much admire her and appreciate what she's done for Star Wars and for Star Wars fandom. How glad are you that there's Wawas in Orlando? Emily, you certainly know how to, preach to the choir, because Wawa subs are really good. I wish there was one a little bit closer. When do you recall food at Disney really becoming something extra special? Tom, that's an interesting question, because believe it or not, as a kid, I was not an eater, like at all. My parents used to try and bribe me to eat with like toys and like presents. I was skin and bones, and then I went to law school. I was very sedentary because all I did was like go to school, come home and study, and just pound bags of Doritos. And then one day I was like the Nutty Professor. I was like, boom, I just exploded, and here I am. But I think I would even go back to the 70s and say things like the handwiches that you used to be able to get they were first in Tomorrowland. You could also get them in, what was it called, Disney Springs, but in the Lake Buena Vista Village. I think Disney always was trying to do unique things with dining. And look, when Magic Kingdom opened in 71, it was the vacation kingdom of the world, and dining was a very important part of that. Because remember, there was only one park, 3 resorts. When the parks closed early, there wasn't a lot to do. So things like the Top of the World Supper Club, which is now the California Grill at the Contemporary, was a very not only upscale dining experience, but they were able to bring in a lot of A, B, C list talent from the time. Like, okay, Mel Torme means nothing to you, but at the time, Mel Torme and some of these, like, they were able to get big names. So you're able to go not just for dinner, but have a dining experience. And so I think dining has always been important to Disney. I think for Disney fans, it probably didn't come until, I would say, maybe the 90s, or maybe even until the advent of social media, that it started to get out that, wait a minute, it's not just chicken nuggets and burgers and French fries, but there's exceptional food there. Some of the best meals I've ever had have actually been here at Walt Disney World. Jim Rohowski just made his boathouse reservation first time there for your birthday, dude, there's no better way to celebrate or place to celebrate than at the boathouse. Do I remember the last time I rode 20,000 leagues? I have memories of riding 20,000 leagues, but not specifically the last one. I'm on vacation staying at Pop Century. What's the best way to get to the Poly using Disney transportation, going to Ohana for the first time? I would take a bus to the transportation and ticket center and then just walk over. It's a very, very short, actually very lovely walk because it looks like the rain has stopped. With the tiki torches lit, walk right over to the Poly from there. The move to, so Sheldon and I just talked about, I am going to talk more about moving to Florida on a live show. I'll let you know in advance when that's going to be so that we can answer some of your questions specifically live, not just me, with some of the people that had joined me on that initial episode as well. My favorite resort to stay in. Joe Carey, this is tougher than it sounds. There's a lot of things I love about Wilderness Lodge. I love the beach club. I have had this wonderful new love affair with Riviera. And I know some people don't like the aesthetic. I do, like, a lot. I think it is wonderful and comfortable, and there's an elegance to it. I think it has some of the best dining on property, beautiful pool, amazing views, and the Skyliner is there. So for those reasons alone, it very quickly It very quickly leapt to probably a top 3, maybe even a top 2 on my list. Yes, Becky Mankin, ask me anything. So, for example, somebody asked before, why didn't Becky take you to Hawaii? I have no idea. It would have been such a nice way to celebrate coming off. Just think of all the content we could have created together. It's okay. Becky needed a vacation. You do not win a prize for that question, though, although we miss you anyway. Now that you've ridden Remy's, rank the 3 trackless rides 1 through 3. Mystic Manor. You mean here? Do you mean here? So if it's Remy, if it's Remy, Rise, and Runaway, no, they all have R's. I would do. Man, so Rise of the Resistance has to be first for all the reasons, then Remy, and then Runaway Railway. I'm liking Remy more than I like Runaway Railway. I think it's a combination of not just the attraction, but what's inside the 4 walls of the attraction, from the 3D to some of the 4D effects. But it's the queue. It's bleeding out into that load area, I almost want to call it, but that side street in Paris is gorgeous. And they had me at crepes. They kept me at crepes because I love the crepes a lot. But Rise has to be first. In terms of trackless, Mystic Manor, like overall Mystic Manor, and then probably Pooh's Honey Hut in Tokyo would probably come in second. It's that good. When are we going to talk about DCL? When you get yourself off the beach and out of your little Starlight Hulu safari thing that you're doing there on the Aleo Lounge, you get back to civilization, and then we'll talk. Probably this weekend. I blocked off the whole weekend just for you, Becky. What do you think your path would have looked like had I not moved to Florida? Did I have a backup plan? Beth, that's a great question. I'm going to give you a prize for that, Beth. By the way, you all have to email me if I say and Beth, I'm going to give you a random selection. So just very quickly, the folks from National Geographic, Nat Geo to the cool kids, actually sent me a number of different prizes to give away based on their new photo arc, which is this multi-year effort to photograph every species living in the zoos and wildlife sanctuaries and inspire education and, more importantly, action and activity as a result of it to help protect wildlife through conservation projects. And you can actually learn more if you go to natgeo.com. So they sent me not one, not two, they sent me a whole bunch of these very, very cool loci bracelets. So, Beth, I'm going to randomly select one of the Nat Geo loci bracelets for you or for someone you love. And you can see that there's a number of different animals and designs inspired by them. And I'm just going to pick a random one and give it to you. It looks like there's a peacock or a little gecko-y frog. I love this one. I love this little butterfly one. So Beth, did I have a backup plan? No, my plan was the one that I had set out for myself since I was a kid, which was I was going to be a lawyer. Like I had my plan. I had my 30, 40-year plan. I literally overpaid for a house in 2005, which was wonderful, that I put an incredible amount of money and time into because I thought it was my forever house. And when I decided to move to Florida and take the leap of faith, I brought money into my closing. And I say that because I had no backup plan. Like being a lawyer was the plan. And then all of a sudden I started to veer off of it, right? I had this little IT consulting company I started inside because I just loved it. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed helping people, never expecting to do anything beyond that. Although I think I always had this entrepreneurial spirit in me, which I got from my parents. But there was no backup plan. And I don't think you necessarily need one because sometimes you're able to take the leap of faith and then build your wings on the way down. And it doesn't matter how early you start or how late you start. It's never too late. And if somebody is watching and listening and thinking, well, that's all great. I would love to do this thing, but I'm too old. It's too late. I promise you that you are wrong. It is never too late to start. And if you doubt it, reach out to me and I will help you, or come to Momentum and I promise you I will help you. Who alive today have you not interviewed but is on your bucket list? Michael Eisner. Michael Eisner is on the bucket list. There's not a lot that are on the, wow, I really want to interview this person, but I think Michael Eisner has fascinating stories to tell. I think he's been removed from the company long enough. And look, you know me, I don't ask things that would be deemed inappropriate, but I think I want not only to, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions for you, Michael Eisner, but not in the way, look, I think people remember Eisner for how things happened when he left, which I think is unfair because so much of what we got before and after that Disney decade really helped to shape the future of first of all, he saved the company. It helped shape the future of both the parks as well as other divisions, including things like animation. So I think Michael Eisner did so much more good for the company than sometimes people look. Sometimes you only remember the bad things, right? You only remember, when you break up with somebody, you remember what a jerk they were at the end. You don't remember like, oh, we had 3 years. It was like lovely. No, you remember like the bad. And I think that's what happened with Michael Eisner. So Michael, if you're watching, hit me up, man. I'd love to chat with you. So for only like 3-4 hours, somewhere around there. Name my perfect meal at Boathouse. Good Lord. Jeff Couture. So I think that you have to do a seafood tower with Lucky Duck's oysters, crab claws, the shrimp, which are like that big, the tuna and avocado, and the crab and avocado. That's probably enough to start. You could also, that wedge salad with blue cheese is actually really nice too. It's more like a palate cleanser. I think that either the coriander seared tuna or the filet sliders, yeah, they're that good. But when you get them, it's not on the menu. Tell them you want grilled onions on top. That's like the secret menu item. And then for dessert, the blueberry cheesecake. There's nothing like that. How many secret items are on your whiteboard that Becky doesn't know about? I will tell you. There's at least 4, at least 4, possibly 4, maybe 5, 6 tops. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get myself in trouble. My phone's going to ring any second. Okay. Thank you for sharing some of your collection in the past. Something you've wondered, what is that behind you next to the lamp that appears to have wings? Justin, if you had wings, you could do many things. You could widen your world if you had wings, but this here is actually a stanchion. It's a bat stanchion from the Haunted Mansion, which sits right next to if that's That is my 1977 Han Solo, my original blaster, little 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea sub. That is an Olszewski Main Street Electrical Parade, little spider bot. Mike Pasquarello, that is a cool Illuminations torch that plays music, which it's too far away for me to reach. These are things from my collection that made the purge when I decided to minimize a little bit everything I had behind me. These are a few of my favorite, these are a few of my favorite things. I'll just leave it at that. Julie Voris, yes, I promise you there will be a part 3 of Moving to Disney. Again, I want to do something that's going to be interactive so that your specific questions get answered. We'll talk more about, sort of like revisiting the folks that had moved here 11, 12 years ago, as well as those who've moved here 2, 3, 4 years, see how things have changed for all of us, and then to get some of your questions answered. Dave Rashoni from DJR Music asks the impossible question: what's on the whiteboard in front of me? Ink. There is ink, and there's ideas, and there's lots of good stuff that I look forward to getting to and sharing. Beatrice Dennis says, moving to Disney truly made me feel like I am where I belong. Beatrice, thank you for that. But I think I know that feeling when I got here. It was the first time in my life, like since the time I was able to start making those decisions, that I ever felt it is where I belong. And that says a lot. Like, I moved around a lot from the time I was in college and then bounced around, and I never quite, even when I overpaid for my house in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, it still hurts. You can tell. There was something about that, and just being as much as it was my home, there was something about it that it didn't something was missing, and there was something that was incomplete. And it wasn't about the house or the location, certainly not my family, but when I came here, and I will very quickly tell a story, and you can think I'm crazier than you may have thought before, and if so, Godspeed. But when I lived in Naples, we were renting for a while, moved to a couple different houses, went down there to help my parents with their business, and then help my mom when my dad got sick, and then help him through that very long process going back to Sloan Kettering in New York. Obviously, I never felt at home because I was always renting there. When I finally made the decision, I'm like, look, I need to go find us a house in Orlando. And even though I was going to rent here, and I know this sounds wacky, but it wasn't Disney I knew I wanted to be where I wanted to be, sort of this close to Disney, and I'd done my research into areas. But I will tell you, and this is just, because we're friends, I share this with you. Part of my decision in moving here was, okay, it's not just the house and the proximity to Walt Disney World, but I had to think about, what about schools? Like, that was of paramount importance. Like, where are my kids going to go to school? I want them to go someplace that's obviously not just safe, because remember, Orlando is a big place. It's a big city, and there's some areas that are better than others. I wanted them to have a good education and upbringing and place that they would be safe. And part of that was finding a church along with the school. We're Catholic. I wanted my kids to go to Catholic school. And I kid you not, maybe I'm telling you too much information. It doesn't matter. I went to go visit the school that my kids would go to. And there was this it's called the narthex, sort of an area outside of the church. And there was some statuary there. And I literally remember picking up the phone and calling my wife. And there were tears in my eyes, streaming down my face. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is where we're supposed to be. And it's true, because 13 years later, this is the one place I feel like I'm home. And it's not because of the house. It's not because of Disney. It's due in large part because of you. Even though you don't live next door, you might live next door, which would be weird. But even though you don't live next door, it's all part of this overall sense of community and family that I feel. And this is the place of all the places I've lived in my 5 decades plus on this planet. This is the place that most feels like home. So that's a very, very long answer. I'm so sorry. Nobody cared about that story. That's the stupidest story ever. So sorry. All right, let me keep going and catching up. Any chance for a virtual momentum? Chris Chapman, stay tuned. stay tuned. I'm going to have stuff that's not even on that whiteboard. It's on a different whiteboard that I will share with you if you are not able to attend Momentum in person. However, I can tell you, and this is I suck at selling, but there's a vast difference between consuming content online, even like this. There's a difference between this and coming to a meet of the month. There's a difference between watching videos or even engaging in live and being there. A big part of what I do in Momentum is not the stuff that takes place up on a screen or that comes out of a presenter's mouth. It's the stuff that I do to effectuate networking and change, like in the room. And that's where the stuff happens. I do a lot of things to make you move the needle, maybe get out of your comfort zone a little or a lot, because I want you to leave a different person on Sunday night than you were when you came in Saturday morning, in the best possible sense. So again, long-winded answer to a very short question. I'm bad at this. I have to get more efficient. And Annie Melanzi Ranatkowski, konnichiwa from Japan. My Japanese is bad, so I'll just say konnichiwa. Where in Japan are you? And please tell me that it's Kyoto, because it's like my favorite place on earth. Let's see. What am I most looking forward to? A lot of people ask me about what am I looking forward to the 50th? I'm going to give you the lame Lou Mongello answer. It's the stuff that we don't know yet. I have to believe that there's a surprise or two up Disney's sleeve, which is why I haven't announced a meetup on October 1st in Magic Kingdom yet, because I'm waiting to see. Certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing what the new nighttime celebrations are going to be. I want to see what the new statues look like. I haven't been to Magic Kingdom in a number of weeks. I haven't even seen what the new stage area by the Partners statue looks like yet. So, and I might wait. I might wait until I get there on the 1st, now that I think about it, to really be surprised. Do I miss you, Nit and Becky? No. I missed you the day you left. The day that I dropped you off after it took us 4 hours to find the entrance to the Hilton at the airport. So yes, Kim, there will be a meetup on Magic Kingdom on the 1st. My favorite spots to work on property. Brian, this is a difficult question to ask because I have many spots in theory, but there's a huge nexus between going to actually work there and putting on pants and leaving the house. Because every week, every day, I'm like, this is the day I'm going to do it. And I'm like, that means I got to get dressed. I got to drive there. I got to park. I got to walk to that spot, get myself set up. By the time I do it, it's like an hour and a half of work time that I've lost. I'm going to lose at the same time on the back end. So I ended up just staying here. That being said, the Katsura Grill in Japan is my favorite place anywhere in Walt Disney World. The 3rd floor in lobby in Wilderness Lodge, that upstairs quiet work area by the fireplace overlooking the atrium lobby. And my 3rd favorite place to work would be, oh gosh, man, there's a lot of really good spots. Beach Club has some nice spots to work in. You know what? I will say, Lou, you're insane. Number 3 is the Voyagers Lounge and might even be number 2. Number 2 is Voyagers Lounge. Yeah, Wilderness Lodge. I just leapfrogged you. Voyagers Lounge in Riviera Resort. Amber Bramble says, all right, real question. Who has been your all-time favorite interview? So Amber Bramble, I'm going to give you a question for this because, and I'm going to try and give you, I'll send you a Lokai bracelet. I will send you a Lokai bracelet too. So I got to write this down because I'm totally going to forget, because then I'm going to end up sending Jeff a Lokai bracelet and he's like, what am I going to do with this? My all-time favorite interview, Theron Skis, if you're watching, right now it's you because you're the last person I talked to, but it's easy for me to say Julie Andrews because it's the name everybody knows. It probably is one of the most prominent people I've ever interviewed. And I won't say, I hate this question, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Don't get mad. Like, I hate this question because I feel like I'm name dropping and I hate doing that. And I feel weird, but pretend I'm talking about somebody else. So I could also say that Kevin Feige would be, but it's not, because I didn't feel like that was an interview. Like, I felt like I was just talking to a friend, like we were nerding out about Marvel stuff. Like, I talk to him sometimes and I forget the context. Like, dude, like, there's a little person on my shoulder going, you know that's the president of Marvel Studios, right? And I'm like, shh, shh. There's part of me that wants to say Kevin Feige, but it's got to be the first time I spoke to Richard Sherman. My first conversation with first his wife and then Richard, and the friendship that developed as a result of that, I could put a pin in that as a seminal moment in not just my life as a Disney fan, but the trajectory of the podcast, because, and I never worry about being first, but, there were no sort of recorded interviews like that where, again, this was pre D23 and pre events that he would come out and do these things. I'll never forget when he's like, I wish I recorded. He goes, are you sure you want to interview me? Like, he's the sweetest, most humble man in the world. I was like, I wanted to be like, dude, do you know who you are? Like, yeah, Mr. Sherman, Richard. Yes, I really would like to talk to you. And he remains to this day. As I talked to his wife actually a couple of months ago, and as sweet and as kind as humble, and I will always have that vision in my mind. Now I'm really going to cry. When we did the cruise together, and he was a guest on our cruise, and we ate at the same table at dinner, and he and his wife leaned over and said, would it be okay? Oh, God. She goes, would it be okay if Richard and I took Marion and Nicholas, my children, to the show? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And she goes, no. You stay here. Like, finish your dinner and your dessert. We'll take them. Now, mind you, overprotective dad, I did a background check on my parents before I let them watch them. And I was like, yeah, of course. And I can see it like it happened yesterday. It's crazy. Richard Sherman holding the hands of my two children with his wife and walking them to the Walt Disney Theater on the Disney Dream to see a show that probably included music that he wrote. Like the grandfatherly and grandparently vision that had, and I hope and I believe that my kids, my daughter specifically, very much have that memory. So there you go. Again, super long answers to super short questions. I'm sorry. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to get better at this. Best table service restaurant at the Disney resorts, Topolino's Terrace. I think Topolino's is really, really, really hard to beat for location, atmosphere, the quality of the food. It is a dining experience, and I know it's an overused buzzword. You don't have to spend $900 on a meal at Victoria and Albert to have a dining experience, and I think that's what Topolino's offers. It is a slow, long, wonderfully luxurious meal that, if you time it right, as the sun sets over the water and over the Skyliner, it affords what I think is a view that is arguably as good as, if not even better than, the one that you get from California Grill. So, let's see. Oh, Mark Jones. Mark, you're getting a prize for this. I'm going to, wait a minute, Mark Jones. Hold on, Mark Jones. By the way, I'm trusting you guys to email me, because Mark Jones, I'm going to send you a Funko Pop. I'm going to send you a Funko. Let me go back to that. What current attraction best exemplifies the spirit of Walt? So let's talk it out, right? So it's easy to say something like Carousel of Progress because Walt had his hand in it, but I don't think that's the question. It's not which one would Walt love, which one did Walt work on, which embodies the spirit of Walt. I'm thinking out loud as I answer this, and my first thought is probably the one that I need to go with, and I'm going to say Mystic Manor. Why, Mongello? I'll explain. Because Mystic Manor is a unique IP, right? It's not based, although so much of Disneyland certainly was, I think things like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Country Bear Jamboree, quintessential early Disney attractions embody Walt Disney, the storyteller. That's what Mystic Manor does. It takes this idea this unique set of location, culture, circumstances, environment, storytelling, and wraps it in this incredible, immersive attraction that is everything Walt wanted. It was a place that families could have fun together. It's not scary. It has no height requirement. Yay me. It's fresh characters. It's wonderful music. It's unique in design. It's unique to that park. So, with credit to everyone who worked on that, and apologize to everyone who worked on every other amazing attraction I know Walt would be proud of, I'm going to say Mystic Manor. I like that question a lot. I really like that question. Let's see. Oh my God, I'm so behind. I'm so sorry. I'm going as fast as I can. What's one attraction you'd bring back? What's a new attraction you would build? I would bring back 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and I would build. What's a new attraction that I would build? God, I want Mystic Manor here, and I don't want Mystic Manor here. Like, I want it here because my chances of getting back to Hong Kong anytime soon are slim to none unless Becky Manker from Mouse Fan Travel makes that happen. But I love that attraction so much. I'll say that from purely selfish reasons. Let's see. Jeff says, Giants Cup. Yeah, brother. Kickoff weekend. Come on, baby. Saquon. What would I like to see come to World Showcase next? Egypt, India, Greece. I think all offer amazing cultural opportunities, culinary opportunities, heritage opportunities, architectural opportunities. A place that is on my bucket list to go is Egypt. I would love to see a little piece of that come here. Oh my God, Kate Wall, stop with the questions that are going to make me cry. If I could bring my kids back to any age, if I could lock them in at like 5, 6, like just at that point where, there's no more diapers, any of that kind of stuff, but they become little, I can't because you can make me cry and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to say 5 or 6 and I'm going to move on because otherwise I'm going to be a weeping. As my daughter gets, stop. She's a senior in high school. I can't do this ever. Ashley Grissom, favorite Disney animation movie? There's part of me that wants to go with I think the way I'm supposed to answer this is you go with the first thing that comes to mind, right? So Peter Pan, classic Disney animation comes to mind. That being said, there's a lot of beautiful movies, both in content and in design. I think Hunchback of Notre Dame is gorgeous. I think it's an incredibly underrated and underappreciated film. I think Princess and the Frog is some of the best hand-drawn animation that has been done by any studio in decades. I love the music. I can't wait to see what Splash Mountain's going to be. And so you didn't say hand-drawn animation. Right, and I mentioned Princess and the Frog because of hand-drawn animation, just because I love the story, and because it also makes me think of my kids and the ages they were when that came out. And there's other movies I love just because I love the story and I love the setting. Like I love Big Hero 6. I wish San Francisco was a real place. So I'll have to do a top 10 favorite Disney animated movies. If only there was somebody who could join me, who's well-versed in Disney animation and would like to join me on that show. Because I'll have Tim come on too. He's, whatever. He'd bring a little bit to the table, but somebody else with some animation knowledge, experience, whatever. I'll get to that, but I'm going to go with I'll go with my Peter Pan. When am I taking my next trip to Disneyland? Deborah Mickens, I've been asking Becky this for weeks. I don't know, but it probably isn't going to happen before the end of the year. So probably, hopefully, sometime early next year. If I could cruise to Disneyland, if I can cruise on DCL to anywhere in the world, where would it be? If they had a cruise out of Port Canaveral to Tokyo, sign me up tomorrow. I'm going to assume that the cruise is free because otherwise I couldn't afford it. But if I could somehow cruise to Japan, or like maybe some places in South America too. Like I would love to see some of the Mayan and Aztec pyramids as well. But Chuck Frost, hi from Alaska. God, I love Alaska and the Alaska cruise. And Alaska people are so nice, by the way. Do the DCL cruises up here serve Alaska foods on board or just standard cruise fare? So you would probably be best to, like, I don't know what traditional Alaska food is. Yes, they have salmon night, and certainly you can do different things. Like some of the best salmon I've ever had was on that, Becky, if you're still here, the excursion that we did where they had we did the canoes to a little island, and they had the fresh fish like bake outside. Oh, Yvette, it was so good. So I don't know what other sort of traditional Alaska foods might be there. Let me catch up. I have not seen the Enchanted Music preview. I specifically want to wait until I see it on the first. I've sort of tried to avoid watching that on purpose. Who's been my interview and why Charlie Ridgway? Brian, Charlie Ridgway has a very special place in my heart too. Not just because he really was my first sort of Disney celebrity interview, but Charlie and I became friends as well. And I really like Charlie a lot. We talked off air at length about the parks and what was and what almost was, and Walt Disney and the early days of Disney World. And he was just a good, nice man. We shared a publisher, so we would get together occasionally, just in social context, and was just a very, very nice guy. And that too, like, sort of helped me get my start in interviewing people. Christina Claus, yes, we are going to do a meetup, I promise, in Magic Kingdom on the 1st. I'm waiting till we get closer to find out what, if any, schedule Disney is going to have or put out. How do I determine my podcast topics? Carrie, that's a great question. I get this question all the time. Like, how many weeks in advance do you have recorded and planned out? I'm like, weeks? You're giving me way more credit. Again, peek behind the curtain. I would love to say that I have the next 10 episodes laid out and prepped and ready to go. That's not the way I do. I have always done, and I will always continue to do, a show that I would want to listen to. That's where I get the ideas from. It's not based on any sort of editorial calendar, of which I have none. It's what I feel. It's what I think. An idea pops up, an opportunity pops up, and I jump on it. It sometimes makes for very, very late, long, crazy, stressful, blood pressure through the roof kind of weeks. But I love every single second of it, and I'm grateful for it every single day. Other than Spider-Man, what did you want to be when I grew up? Jeff, I wanted to be a lawyer. I mean, I still am a lawyer. I was not disbarred, so technically I can practice law. I just choose not to. But I wanted to be a lawyer who was also Spider-Man. So sort of like Daredevil. I wanted to be Daredevil, but without, some of the, yeah. So if I was stuck on a deserted island for eternity, Dan Mulca, I know I owe you a phone call. I am so sorry. What one entree would I want with me? So I'm not going to cheat and say I would like a boatload of sushi. The one entree I'd want if I'm going to be stuck on an island. Okay, this works out well. I'm stuck on a desert island, so I need to also think not just about flavor, but I need to think about like nutrition. And it actually happens to all work out perfectly well. I would like gigantic bowl of angel hair pasta bolognese with some meatballs and sausage and some nice crisp, like crunchy Italian bread. So I get my protein, I get my carbohydrates, I get my vegetables. Yahtzee. It's a win-win-win all around. I'm going to be the fattest deserted guy ever. Like, Mr. Mongello, you've been stranded on this island for 30 years. How are you so fat? The pasta here is so good. They have the best Italian food here on this desert island. So there's my answer. Dan Malka, I should send you something for that. Dan Malka, you know what, Dan Malka? I like that question too. Dan Malka. I'm going to send you a Funko Pop. I'm going to figure out if you're more of a Star Wars guy or a Marvel guy, and I'm going to send you a Funko Pop. Did the weather ever worry about moving to Florida? No. Remember, Orlando was, people were like, oh, you're moving to Florida. There's so many hurricanes. And God, I mean, the poor Northeast has gotten battered with more hurricanes than we have down here. Orlando is so far inland that by the time hurricanes move in past, over land, a lot of times they dissipate a lot. When I was in Naples, actually many, many years ago, my parents' condo in Marco Island was, for all intents and purposes, destroyed by hurricane. It wasn't Andrew. Was it Andrew? Like in the 90s? I get confused. They found my parents' couch half a mile down the beach. So literally it came in, swirled through the living room, and blew everything out. So, but I don't worry at all. Let me see. Let me go down. Portillo's, Chris Chapman, they make me think about Portillo's. I have never been to a Buc-ee's. Heather Campbell Brookshire, I've never been to a Buc-ee's yet. I hear it's an experience. I hear it is an experience. If I could work, Jennifer Subco, if I could work in one position with Disney, what would it be? Wow, that's also, because I have to think about it on different scales, right? Is it something an executive level? And it's probably not. Because at the end of the day, I very much acknowledge that Disney is a corporation. I'm not going to go down this road, but when we have emotional responses to decisions that are made sometimes that don't make sense from a heart point of view, Disney is a corporation that is not in the business of making money. I've said this before. I will say it again. They are in the business of making a boatload of money. So I don't know that I would not do well in the corporate environment. It is not me. It's not who I am. Excuse me. Even with creative license, I just don't think that would be for me. So I would want something that would have guest interaction. I don't even know if, I would have to talk to Dan Cockrell and Lee Cockrell some more about what leading the parks on a day-to-day basis was like. Like, stripping it all out, what are the politics of, because it's still corporate, right? And even though and Dan and Lee were both very much, especially Dan, was boots on the ground. He would be in the parks quite often. There's a little part of me that would want to be like a tour guide because it's what I've done, it's what I enjoy doing, but it does sometimes get repetitive. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't think I have the creative. I don't think I have the creative in me to be an Imagineer. I would love to be on that side, but I love the guest-facing interaction. So that's, again, long answer to a short question. Angie Robinson, handwiches were my favorite. They got to bring back the handwiches. So good. Favorite series on Disney Plus besides Marvel? The Imagineering story was exceptional. I really say what you want. I really like Behind the Attraction, a lot. I watched all those episodes more than once. And it's funny because I'm not usually the super fast paced, funny, witty, but I really like that. It was easily consumable. I think it's easy for the casual Disney fan to enjoy. I think the Nat Geo series, it wasn't a series, it was a 3-part special that they did called, it was Japan, not Japan Far and Wide, it's Japan something. Somebody can look it up. There's a series on there which is just outstanding. And if you have a nice TV, and it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. You could just put that on in the background and feel like you're there. And some of and I give credit to the directors and the cinematographers for that, because it's a spectacular episode. If there was one ride, one attraction at Magic Kingdom you could reimagine or update to past hour, what would it be? You mean, and run the risk of making the internet lose its collective marbles by updating an attraction in Magic Kingdom? It's hard because I'm a nostalgic and I'm a sentimentalist, so there are things I almost feel shouldn't be touched, right? Country Bear Jamboree, carousel of progress. If I had to update something in Magic Kingdom, oh God, I could cheat and say Stitch's Great Escape because it's already closed, couldn't I? You know what? I will say, I keep going to one, but I'm sort of mentally traversing the Magic Kingdom in my mind's eye. If I had to update one attraction, it might be, it might be the Monsters Inc. laugh floor. It does not have a monstrous, pun intended, repeatability factor for me. So I will say Monsters Inc. laugh floor. Apologies to all of the monsters and monster lovers in the room. Favorite booth at Epcot Food and Wine, Japan. Japan and the noodle booth. God, if there was only somebody who could go with me right now, drive me to Epcot and get me all of the noodles from the noodle booth. The noodle booth is new this year. All of the options, all 4 of the noodle options are phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal. Father Christopher, don't spoil What If yet. I have not seen it. I have not seen it as yet. That is going to be my late night snack-filled viewing for this evening. Let me see. Dan Collins, favorite extinct restaurant. My wife and I love Bon Familles at Port Orleans French Quarter. Lest we forget, oh God, it's just jumped out of my head. In Adventureland, the Adventureland Veranda restaurant, the Papiete Bay Veranda in the Polynesian, the Top of the World Supper Club. Oh God, the Wild Horse Saloon, in downtown Disney, Pleasure Island. You know what? I'm gonna say, this is not the real answer, but I'm gonna say the Fireworks Factory in Pleasure Island, which actually just happens to sit, coincidentally enough, sort of where the boathouse is, the boathouse boutique is. I remember going there with my parents. I could see it. I could see the inside with the dark woods. I still have a matchbook, shows, from the Fireworks Factory. They had delicious ribs there. And my dad loved that place. So I'm going to say the Fireworks Factory. Let's see. Caleb Joshua Hill, do I think Walt Disney Records will ever create a Disney music streaming service like Apple Music and Spotify? I doubt it, Caleb, because if you look on specifically Spotify, Disney Music has an outstanding collection of curated music from every type of genre you could think of. Like, there are string arrangements, there's guitar arrangements, there's jazz arrangements, there's blues arrangements, like anything you could think of, depending on whatever your music, your mood is. So they've curated not just a collection of basically every single Disney song, but then other arrangements and compositions by other artists putting together in a new kind of way. So if you want some Disney music to relax to drive through Saturday morning, they've got a collection for you. Spotify and Disney, really, really well done. I don't listen to music a lot, but I know that the app is on my phone. So let me see. Kevin Shea, you're going to make me see. This is it. It's just going to see who could make Lou cry. Family first. Your dad and mom made an impact on your life. That is understating the obvious. You in return make an impact on your family. I hope so. What I love or desire for each of my kids to eventually pick up the baton. WDW Radio, keep going. Any interest while they're young. Love that you include in family what you do. Kevin Shea, thank you so much. It's funny, as my daughter, I'm really going to cry, as my daughter prepares, and we're having conversations about college and stuff next year. Far be it for me to say, and I never would, but no, you have to go and do this. Because when I was a kid, and not my parents didn't do it, but there were other people in other parts of my family like, you need to go to graduate school. Like, college isn't enough. You need to be like, there's a lot of doctors and lawyers in my family, right? My parents never did that to me. Like, you do what you want to do. Being a lawyer was my own choice. For my kids, I want them to hopefully, over these past 17, 18, 16 years of their lives, picked up on what I do. Not the day-to-day of talking about Mickey Mouse for a living. as my friends accused me of doing when I first was going down this path. But I do what I love every single day. Like, they know I still freaking love this. And the day that I don't is the day that I leave. And that is not a threat. It's just a promise. Like, because I think that's what life is all about. So I've hoped that they've picked up on that and know that whatever that thing is that they want to do, I will be behind them 1,000%. Kevin Shea, I will be behind them 1,000%. So my daughter wants to go into stage management. I will do everything in my power to help her be the best stage manager she wants to be. And then if somewhere down the road she changes her mind, I will be behind her too. My son, one day, well, I think he still wants to be a veterinarian. That's the road that you want to go down, go do it. If nobody picks up the WDW Radio mantle when my days on this earth are done, so be it. I only hope that if anybody still cares, the show is able to stay out there for anybody that wants to listen. I have no exit strategy at this point, but I don't think that it is my kid. So, but who knows? Who knows? All right, let me catch up here. Wait a second. Oh, okay. I'm so far behind. Forgive me. What is my favorite Sherman Brothers song? Carlos, Feed the Birds will make me cry every day and twice on Sunday, man. I see why Walt liked, and it's funny, as a kid, I remember fast forwarding it in Mary Poppins. I didn't like it. It was depressing. Like, it was sad and it was like melancholy. And I didn't like it. Like, it was disruptive to me as a kid because Mary Poppins was such a happy movie. But now, like, I love that song. And it does that. It evokes an emotional response, which it shows why it is such a good song. I mean, God, there's a million Sherman Brothers. Top 10 Sherman Brothers song is an easy top 10. Somebody write that down. Somebody actually write that down. So, let me see. You've arrived now that Nat Geo is sending you things. Zach Brown wants to know from the Zach Brown Show. He's not the Zach Brown Band. He's in the Zach Brown Band, which has a different name, but he's from the Zach Brown Show, which is a podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Who would I play in Greece? That's moving on. Julie Forrest loves the bracelets and the cause. She has the Disney-inspired ones. Yeah, these are actually really nice. Like, I was actually hoping there was like, oh, is there one that I could actually wear? But I'm going to pick another winner for another question for one of those. Let me see. Gosh, I'm so sorry that I'm so far behind. I'm going to I'm trying to pick these up as quickly and go through it. Like, I want to answer every single one of them because these are all so very good, but I'm seeing the responses and I see how far back I really am. Jim O'Neill says, I won't ask who is the best. Who do you think was the most influential Imagineer that shaped what Walt Disney World is today? Marty Sklar. I think it's Marty Sklar. And Tony Baxter, Joe Rohde, Ferenskis. There's a litany and a list of Imagineers you could mention, but I think Marty Sklar laid the foundation for what Imagineering is, what the philosophy, what the mindset, what the overall mission and goal was. If you've never read Marty's book, you absolutely should. It's a very, very easy read. You could knock it out on a plane flight, but you have to, like Walt, it all started with a mouse. Imagineering started with Marty, and his legacy continues on. And the Ferenskis, the Joe Rohdes, the Bob Gers, and everybody that came after would not have had that path to go down had Marty Sklar not laid it out for him. So, Jim O'Neill, I like that question. So, Jim O'Neill, I'm going to send you, I don't think you want a Loci bracelet. I'm not judging. I'm going to send you a WDW Radio pin and keychain. How's that? So, pin, keychain. I need more shipping labels. All right, let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit. Are there foods I don't like? I don't like olives. I don't like olives. I know. Take my Italian card away. I've tried. I can eat a muffaletta sandwich. I can have tapenade. I don't like olives. I've tried. My dad loved them. My daughter loves them. I just can't. I can't do it. My favorite item in my collection, Crystal Woolley. Answering that is going to. It could potentially offend somebody because some of these things were gifts. Like my Star Wars blaster means something to me because it's from 19. There's stuff in the closet that I've taken down that I've had since I was a kid. Those have meaning for me because of what they represent and because they were mine. I have an e-ticket, which is framed on the wall behind me here somewhere, which represents my time going with my parents. This WDW radio sign from Kyle that he had made overseas and went to go get and, brought back for me. It's hard to see, but it's a WDW radio sign. Like, that has meaning for me. So it's a very long answer. The Spider-Man, right? 700 signed by Stan Lee has a lot of meaning for me. And so I don't have an answer to your question. If God forbid there was a fire and I had to run out and grab one thing, I don't know what it would be because they're just things. At the end of the day, they're just things. That's why the most important stuff is that we collect needs to be up here, not up here, because this is just stuff, right? It's just stuff and it goes away. And it's, at the end of the day, it's transient, but it's the stuff that I have up here. So Kelly wants a tour of the room. I'll give you a tour. We know one day I'll give you I will give you a tour of the room. So Lou has willed the Haunted Mansion stanchion to me, so don't ask. Did I? I don't remember that, but we'll see. I'm sure when I die, my family's going to put all this stuff up on eBay, so you could just have it. Since I'm a font guy, how did I come up with the WDW Radio logo? The WDW Radio logo is actually based on the original Florida Project font that goes back to the late 60s. That was the original Walt Disney World font. So the WDW Radio and the WDW and the radio are both used in that same Florida Project style font. Can we please get an updated top 10 smells? Ask and ye shall receive. Somebody write that down and email that to me. I have to get Timmy Foster on the phone and we'll have to do that because I think we do need to do an updated one. If there's one piece of merchandise, this is Janella. This is a great question. Wait, so Janella, I'm going to send you, I'll give you a choice. I will give you either a random one of the Nat Geo Loci bracelets or a Minnie Mouse pin. So you tell me which one you want when you email me. What's one piece of merchandise or memorabilia that you had the chance to own but I passed on and now regret not getting? I've told the story about how my dad made me bid. Disney used to actually auction a lot of stuff off up on eBay on their own. We bid on the front car of Monorail Red, the old Mark V Monorail Red, which at one point I was the high bidder on for $30,001. I won't rehash that story again. I did also have the opportunity to buy a Horizons ride vehicle, which was way out of my budget, but I would have loved to have had. There's some other smaller items, but again, it goes back to what I just said. They're things, right? So they don't necessarily mean anything to me because I don't need to have the physical thing to feel as though I have some sort of sentimental ownership of it, if that makes any sense. Right. So now my brain is cluttered as opposed to my room. I have never stayed in the Castle Suite. Becky has never invited me to stay in the Castle Suite. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up as fast as I can. And I'm seeing comments. I'm so sorry that my comments aren't scrolling because I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody's, but thank you for some of the nice things that you, So Claire McNeil, I'm also an entrepreneur. I admire the work that you do. Thank you. Do I ever get discouraged in a unique career? How do I push through it? All the time. Anybody who tells you that their life is what it appears to be on Instagram and everything else is lying to you. They're lying to you. Entrepreneurship is freaking hard, and it's super scary. And I'm scared every single day of my life. And I think fear is a great motivator. That's how you push through it, because you, one, need to not have a fear of failure, because you only fail if you quit, but you need to have a little bit of a fear of regret that, hey, if I don't do this, if I don't give this a try and time goes by and I lose my opportunity to do it, you're going to have to live with that regret forever. You push through the downtimes by making everything a learning opportunity. If something doesn't work or doesn't work the way you want, it's what do I learn from it? What can I extract from it? And how can I get better at doing the next thing? That's part of what makes the entrepreneurial journey so exciting, because no day is ever the same. My dad used to ask me, like, so what's your day like? Like, can't you just do, like, automate these things? And I'm like, I can't. And while it sounds incredibly inefficient, because to a certain degree it is, it's also freaking awesome, because every day is different. I look forward to every single morning I get up. Hopefully I get up and what the day has in store for me. Because while it might look, 99% of my time is spent at this desk in front of this computer, but every day is still very, very different. And I love that. And I am, like, blessed for the opportunity to be able to do that. It's thanks to you. Seriously, it is. Do I play fantasy football? I do. So Ken and I used to be in a fantasy football league with, at the time, my best friend when I lived in New Jersey. It was a thing that we loved doing. Like back when I used to have to get magazines and stickers. I haven't done it in years, and I missed it. My son, actually, this year is in a fantasy football league with his friends, and he asked me, why am I so weepy today? But he's like, oh, can you help me do the draft? And so a couple of weeks ago, we sat at his computer and we did, they didn't get together, unfortunately, but they did it online. They did their draft. And I sort of looked and I was like, this is it. Like, this is one of those moments. Like, this is going to be the thing that I, and hopefully he remembers, is like, remember the first time we did a fantasy football draft together? And hopefully over time that will continue to go and be something that we can do together, because I love football. I love football. I cannot wait for football season to start this weekend. Not having access to all the Giant games is going to be tough, but I will figure out a way to do it. So, God, now I see, wow, basically seeing the answers that are coming up, I see how far back I really, really am. I am so, so sorry. Do I have another scavenger hunt planned? So, Lisa, I'm assuming you don't mean the monthly WDW Radio Nation scavenger hunts, which, if you're a member of the Nation, you get your new scavenger hunt from somewhere in Walt Disney World every single month. Quick plug. Thank you for the Nation. You literally keep the lights on here on the show. If you mean another scavenger hunt in the parks, absolutely. There was one planned. 2020 happened, but stay tuned. There is another one coming. Would I recommend sitting inside the bar at Raglan Road? Yes. If you want a very high energy, it's not a place for a quiet romantic meal, but if you want a high energy, good time with some really, really good food, by the way, I absolutely recommend Raglan Road. What was the craziest idea that I ever said or did for the show? At the time, Beatrice Dennis, it was the top 10 smells. It was very early on. If somebody could figure out what number that was, I was like, nobody is going to care about the top. And when I said, I remember struggling with, is anybody going to understand what I mean when I say the musty water smell in Pirates? Clearly, you got it. I was not alone, because before, and I never pay attention to this stuff, but I just sort of know over, 16 years of doing this, that other than the moving to Florida episode, the top 10 smells for years remained the most popular show that I had ever done. But I thought it was crazy. Topolino breakfast or Topolino dinner? Absolutely. Yes. Do them both. It's not, Marla Chan, come on, you know me better. There's no either or. It's Topolino breakfast and, you spelled and wrong. It's and Topolino dinner. Father Christopher. Oh, I like this one. Father Christopher, I'm sending you, I don't think you want a bracelet. I'm I'm going to run out of Funkos, but I'm going to send you a Funko, Father Christopher. What? Let me do this again. Money is no object because Becky's paying. Booyah. What is the event I want to create and host for the group? I have to be really careful because there are discussions going on of events that I would love to do. I will tell you that over the years, oh God, Becky, you know where my mind is going. I need to be evasive for not so obvious reasons. Years ago, there was an event, Becky. I flew out to Disney. I flew out and I met Becky in Disneyland to talk to the event people about an event concept that I had that I wanted to pull off, which I don't like doing off the shelf stuff, right? And forgive my euphemism, but I like stuff to be sexy. It's got to be something different. It's not something that every other corporate group has done. And I've had ideas for a Tron themed event. I had an idea for another event. We proposed it to them. They're like, yeah, I think we might be able to do it. We'll get back to you. And then at some point, not long thereafter, Disneyland's like, hey, guess what? We're doing this event. And I'm like, oh, that was our event idea. So I would love, and Becky and I have talked about this a number of different times. I'd love to do something in Haunted Mansion. Years ago, we had a cool event. Becky, if you're still here, we had a cool event planned to tie into the release of one of my audio tours. And we basically had rented out after hours the entire land. And we were going to have this nighttime, after hours, like candlelit type event in the entire land. And this represents the land. I guess I can say it doesn't matter now. It was Frontierland. And we would have had all of Frontierland for this event. And the problem we ran into was they were building in New Fantasyland, and trucks needed to drive through Frontierland in order to get there. And so they couldn't clear that area for us. That was one we didn't do. There was a Journey into Imagination event, which we were going to do after it had closed and before they made the upstairs the DVC lounge. They were unfortunately like fire code and ADA regulations that kept us from doing it. So there's been some amazing concepts that Becky and I have come up with and started to try and execute on. There's a few more. There's actually one that I haven't told her about yet because I'm still trying to pull this all together in my mind, but eventually I'll let her in on it. I know you made an appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man 700. Thanks, Chris Eliopoulos. I know there are a few different versions. Can you nail it down? So, Scott, there are variation covers. I can't reach. Oh, can I? No, actually, I moved them. So there's a couple different covers. So there's that cover with Doc Ock, which is a variant. There's another one I have up here has a giant Spider-Man eye, which is actually like a mosaic. I think there's like 3 or 4 different 700 covers. That's a lot of times what comic companies will do that have varying levels of collectability on it. So the variant is the one that Stan Lee signed, and then I have one of the other original ones up on the wall. I think I have a total of like 5, like hermetically sealed and saved because it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me, ever. Should Epcot build a card walker statue? No, I don't think so. I think statues need to be reserved, and I think Walt and Roy, and that's it. Like, that's it. Walt and Roy, Mickey, Minnie, done. Would you make any changes to 20,000 Leagues when you brought it back? Oh, well, I think we could certainly update the technology a little bit. Do I think the water parks will get significant changes? No, they're continually updated and modified, but nothing significant. Which World Showcase country without an attraction would you most like to have had seen one? I would love to have seen the original iteration and design of the Mount Fuji roller coaster in Japan, or the Meet the World attraction. I think, you know what? I take that back. I'd love to see a Mount Fuji just for the vistas, but the Meet the World attraction, Sherman Brothers attraction, would have been really nice to have in Japan. I talked about the most underrated animated movie, Spider-Man 700. With you on that cruise to Japan. Oh, if that could only happen. I'm going to save my thoughts on Shang-Chi for our next Nation call, and then maybe a future live. I don't want to share it now because I don't think enough people probably have had a chance to see it yet. Which resort do you think Walt would want to stay at with his family? That's an intriguing question. Part of me wants to say he would want to be near Magic Kingdom, like the family-friendly resort, and hop on the monorail with families and go. Yeah, I think that's what I would say. I think Walt would stay at the Contemporary. I don't know why. Like, part of me sees him staying there and part of me doesn't. Part of me sees him staying at the Polynesian. He would hop around. He would sort of bounce around. I think he would bounce around a little bit. What do Becky and I have planned for the Wish in June? I can't tell you. All I can tell you is you should come because it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. If you're thinking about it, please come. If you can't make it in June, come in December. Because the only thing better than a cruise in June is a cruise in December because it's very merry time. And it's Walt's birthday. So, let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Favorite episode of Lost? Oh, gosh. There's a few. It's probably definitely not in like that weird season 4 or 5 era. I'm an origin story. I love the early episodes. I think the cliffhanger in season 1, when they find the hatch and the light goes on, just excellent. A lot of the John Locke episodes I really, really like. I've only watched it 6 times, like the entire series. And every now and then I'm tempted to be like, just fire up. And I'll fire up episode 1. I'm like, I can't go down that rabbit hole and start doing it again. Let's see. If you could be any fruit, what would it be and why? I have no answer. I have a 0 answer for that. Let me catch up a little more. When am I coming to Marceline, Missouri? Anna, I've always wanted to do sort of a group pilgrimage out to Kansas City and Marceline. It's going to happen one day. It's just a matter of figuring out the timing because we have a lot of stuff on the agenda as well as the wish list, both domestically and internationally. Wow, I'm really far behind because I just saw Kevin Shea's Fireworks Factory response. All right, let me sort of fast forward a little bit more here and see. The Spotify, if you just search for Disney in Spotify, Disney Parks Music has, there's probably, I don't really fire up Spotify all that much, but there are a ton of, you'd be like, what sort of a weird playlist do you have, Mongello? But there's like Disney Chill, the music of D23, Fantastic Worlds, songs to sing in the shower, Disney Piano, summer songs, Pixar hit, the Randy Newman collection, the Parks collection, the Michael Giacchino collection, which is so good. Somebody else, you'd be like, why do you listen to him? What do you listen to that? So you just look for the Disney Parks collection under playlists. Favorite game to play while waiting in a queue? I don't like taking my phone out, Heather. I like to be present with the people that I'm with, so I like to make the games up. Normally, I'll just bore people to death with lots of useless, inane Disney trivia. The trivia books are out of print right now, Aaron. So other than eBay or your local used bookstore or online bookstore, that's the only place that they are currently available. Wow, I'm so far behind. God forgive me. I'm going. All right, let me go. Wow, it's 8:58. All right. Remember when I said I was going to do a short show? I promise we'll do this again. If you like this, because I felt this was a little self-serving. I'm like, Mongello, nobody's going to ask any questions. You know, I have nothing to talk about. So thank you for this. If you like this, I would love to do this again. Actually, Ray Sharpton says, I love these shows. Giants, Eagles, watch party. Let's do it. Oh, God, I don't like the Eagles so much. Craziest idea was the 40-hour show. That's incredibly true. Group sleepover, Magic Kingdom. Karen Sussman, I remember I interviewed, God, what was his name? He was one of the overnight guys at Magic Kingdom. And I was talking to him about an idea of something that I wanted to do overnight. And I was that close. I had gotten like an okay, and then an okay, and a couple okays. And then it got to a certain level like, yeah, we can't do that. So I won't tell you what the idea was, because one of these days I hope to eventually pull it off. All right, let me do, it's almost 9:00. Let me find one more question if I can. Tom Fruit, thank you. I'm so happy that you guys like this idea. Again, I was really, I was hesitant and afraid to do it. So, Jessica, I've wanted to do a Lost podcast for a long time. I took it off the whiteboard. There are 3 other podcast ideas that one of them I came very, like I had cover art, logo, all that stuff ready to go. I was ready to pull the trigger on another podcast. And I caught myself and realized I just don't have the bandwidth to do it. Friends and family will tell you I'm crazy enough as it is trying to add one more thing like that. One of them I'm eventually going to do. Let me see if I can find one last question. Let me go back a little bit. I'll answer one more. Who do I think is the best? I hate to say it, Megan Kirsch. Tom Brady is the best that ever played. I think Joe Montana was probably a close second. Dan Marino is in that conversation, even though he never had the team around to win a Super Bowl. The fact that Tom Brady can be plucked out, put onto a team that was not that great, and win the Super Bowl as convincingly as he did, he's the best to ever play. And there's no discussion, I think. Let me see. All right, maybe I can't find another quick. There were so many good ones back there that I know I missed. I apologize if I did. Phil Sims. Next episode, connections between Lost and Disney. I'm happy. I'm really, really happy that you like this. This makes me super, super happy, and I really do appreciate it. Couple of quick reminders before we go, and I'm gonna try and see if I can get all of these correct before we. I did it again. I keep doing this every single time. I don't know why. Every time I switch, this is what happens, and for some reason, it mutes the mic. Very, very quickly, thank you for being part of the WDW Radio Club. Wait, stop it. Thank you for being part of the WDW Radio Clubhouse. Please, if you can, do me a favor tonight. It's not about the numbers, but it really is about helping this community grow. And the only way to do it is not by me running it. I don't run ads. I want people to come in because they want to be here. So if you can, when we get off tonight, please do me a favor. Go into the clubhouse, click invite, and invite 3 to 5 of your friends that you think would like Disney and like to be part of this amazing community that you've created to be part of the clubhouse. If you love the show and if you want to help really support it and keep it going, please be part of the Nation family. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. If you're interested in my Momentum Weekend Workshop, I have extended the early bird special. I think there's only 10 or 11 tickets left. If you are coming to Walt Disney World now, Becky, you, of course, please go and see Becky Mankin over at mousefantravel.com. And I know I'm forgetting something else, and it doesn't really matter. You know what? It's not about promoting anything. It's about you. It's about this community. I hope you had fun tonight. I really did. I appreciate your questions, your attention, your friendship, and your love. It means the world to me. I'm not kidding when I say Wednesday is my favorite night of the week, and it truly is because of you. Thank you, DJ Ricky Technoid, Ricky Reed, wherever you are. I hope you're watching down and smiling because we all enjoy the mixes you've created. I'll put the link up again where you can find his stuff over on SoundCloud. And the only thing that I want to ask you to do, other than inviting a friend, is to remember to please choose the good. Find the good in everything and everybody that you do, because I promise you that positivity is contagious. If there's some way that I can help you, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, I will definitely see you on next week's show. If you're part of the Nation, I will see you on the call coming up in just a few days. And stay tuned for this week's upcoming podcast. And if there's something you want to hear me talk about on the show, please reach out and let me know. I love you. I appreciate you. So until next time, thank you. See you.
Then inform and inspire all who come here, and above all, to instill in our guests a new sense of belief and pride in mankind's ability to shape a world that offers real hope to people everywhere in the world.